In this video, I am going to show you how to import assignment 1 into your assignment1.zip into your workspace, how to run the application, and how you should approach solving the third part of the assignment. Let's begin by going to Piazza. So I'll do that here, piazza.com. And then under the course page, I'm going to head over to resources. And then assignment 1 is here. I'm going to click on that. And this will bring me to the Cascade system where I can download that zip file. So I've already downloaded it onto my desktop. So I'm just going to go from that step, assuming that you can do this piece on your own. So here is my Eclipse. I actually have assignment 1 loaded in here already. Let me go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to import a fresh copy. The version or the option that I want to choose here is existing projects into workspace. I'm going to select on next. The option I want to choose is select archive file. You'll notice that probably select root directory is the default, but I want to use an archive file for this. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag my zip file in here. It selects that. And so now I have assignment1.zip appearing in Eclipse. You'll notice that the version of Eclipse that I'm using is actually running on a Mac rather than on a PC. It looks a little bit different, the experience is a little bit different, but the functionality is the same. And as far as Eclipse is concerned, everything is identical. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Finish, and this is going to import assignment 1 into my workspace. So the first thing I want to do is navigate down to the latlong.java file. This is the file that you're going to be modifying. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then from here, we should notice that we have the code. The part that you're responsible for implementing is the piece that falls in between this pair of comments. Everything that you need is provided as far as the functions are concerned. We actually call these methods rather than functions. This is similar to what we had done in class and what I had lectured on in class as far as the way that methods actually work. And I want to show you a little bit about how that's all going to occur. And then here is the second piece, is degrees to DMS. This is the second part of that third section of the assignment that you're going to have to be, or that you're responsible for solving. Okay, so before I do anything else, let me go ahead and run this. So there is a run button icon up here, and I'm going to select actually if I just click on it, it's going to ask me how to run the assignment, and I'm going to select run this as a Java application and click on OK. And then in a moment I should get an interface that appears, which is our testing interface for the assignment. And you'll notice that we have degrees, minutes, and seconds, and then decimal here. And actually, if I type something into these boxes, nothing should actually happen. So I click on DMS to decimal, or if I click decimal to DMS, actually if I click decimal to DMS, these all return to 0, and that's because the current answer provided by the two methods is just to return 0. All right, so let's try something. Let me first minimize this window. I can actually bring that back by just clicking that section. Again, the experience on the Mac is a little bit different than on the PC, but for the most part, it'll end up being the same. Okay, so let me first start with playing around with providing different values in an answer to the first method. So you'll notice here that I have these inputs, degrees, minutes, and seconds. the values for each of these variables is actually assigned by the other part of the program that I've already written. So you don't have to worry about actual values being assigned to these variables. Just assume that these are variables where numbers will be plugged in. So let me try something. I'm going to first just do something which is complete nonsense. I'm just going to add degrees, minutes, and seconds together as my answer. You obviously have to write a specific formula into this line of code. But I don't need to really do any. I have two integers and a double. And one of the things to notice here is that I have an integer plus an integer. That is an integer, but then I also have a double, which would actually turn everything on the right-hand side of this equation into a double, and that's what we call promotion. So right-hand side is promoted to a double. So when the answer is provided, it will actually be, or when the answer is computed, it will be saved into this variable called DEG for degrees, and it will be a double. So let me run my program now using that as my solution. So I should get my interface up here in a second. Okay, so let's say that the degrees was 20, minutes was 30, and then seconds was 7. So according to the equation that I wrote here, the answer that's displayed under decimal, when I select DMS to decimal, should be 20 plus 30 plus 7, which is 57. And actually it'll be 57.0 when I actually type it in there, and lo and behold, there we go. So your task with the first part of the solution is to put in the proper equation into the right-hand side. Let's take a look at the second part of this assignment. So here we have an integer, and a double that is going to be returned, and those numbers will be placed into the 3 text boxes in my window. So let me try something here where I take the decimal number, and actually I'm not even going to use the decimal number for now. I'm just going to put in 5, 3, and 23.5 as my answers. According to the assignment, the second part of the assignment that you worked on, we had a worksheet where it shows exactly how to do that, or at least the method that's used. You have to convert that into code. But the main thing here is to make sure that you place or that you compute an answer and assign them to degrees, minutes, and seconds. And then you don't need to worry about what happens after that. Just make sure that your answers are computed and assigned to these variables. Okay, so let me go ahead and run my program now. And let's see what happens with that. So let's just do the thing I had before. So if I compute that, it's 57. Now if I click on decimal to DMS, I said that degrees was going to be 5, minutes was 3, and seconds was 23.5. So if I click on that, you'll see here that those answers appear in those text fields. Okay, so as you write your solution for this part of the assignment, a couple of things to make note of. I'm just going to put them in comments here. These obviously won't show up in your code when you download the zip file, but one of the things I want to note is that, that you may create any variable that you wish. So this means if you want to do a computation and have intermediate values, you can create your own variables and use them any way that you like. So anyway, that completes this video. Again, if you have any questions, please post your questions onto the Piazza website.